710 WNTM.
Psalm 118:24, King James Version. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. New International Version. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! Wake up! Wake up, everybody! Wake up! I have lived north, south, east, west, and I'm going to tell you that I have never in my life seen such uninformed citizens as I have in the city of Mobile. And I live in Baldwin County for a reason, and the reason Mobile is in the shape it's in because the educational level of the city is very, very low, and that's obvious by the callers who call your show.
Well, I want to say in a gentle way, sir, who needs you? I mean, I don't mean that I don't want to be offensive when I say that, and no insult intended. Don't take that wrong, but who needs you? Who needs you? All right. I don't want to lose my temper. Uncle Henry Show underway. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. Thank you for watching on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. Good morning to Steve Clevenger, already watching on Facebook. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve. Here we are, Wednesday. What a wonderful day it is. Yesterday I got an email because I'm in the media, I get emails from the Mobile City Council public relations person. And I got an email that was the final list of qualified candidates. Qualifying has ended. We now have the list of people running for office in the Mobile City election. People that live in Mobile will be going to vote on August 22nd. And I've got the list. And I looked at it. I don't know most of these people. I have no idea who they are. And I wonder if I wait a week or two before I pay attention to this, will some of them drop out, thus saving me the trouble of learning about these people? That's a rhetorical question. There is a new candidate for mayor of Mobile. You have Sam Jones. You have Mayor Standy Simpson. You have a guy that announced a few weeks ago that I can't remember his name because I never heard of him. And then there's a new lady. There's a woman, a female candidate that has jumped in as well. And her name, let me see, her name is Donavette Eli, or Ely. That's one of the things we'll have to learn. How do you pronounce her name? I did Google her, and she's very interesting. We'll get into some of that as we continue. The Uncle Henry Show proceeding forward right after traffic and weather smash together.
Time saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Porsche Traffic Center.
There are a couple of very minor areas of rain passing through the area, but there's a lot less of this than what we've had during morning drive for the last week or so. So better news on that front. We do have a traffic light malfunction in Fort Walton Beach. It's on Green Acres and Lewis Turner Boulevard. Gulf Power's out trying to get that rectified. No big Bayway problems so far. With time saver traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. We've got a smaller risk of rain today. We'll call it a 30% chance of storms. So more sunshine will mean hot temperatures in the low 90s. We're in for a quiet night tonight. Mostly clear, 74. And then on your Thursday, partly cloudy, slim chance of a storm, and a high in the middle 90s. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
Smart Home America is a local nonprofit set up to help Gulf Coast homeowners learn how to save money. Learn how to shop for homeowners insurance and get the right coverages. Learn how to re-roof your house with a fortified roof that's safer and can increase your property values. And learn how to save all the time by being more energy efficient. You'll find information and resources at smarthomeamerica.org. Build a stronger home, save money, and get the right insurance with smarthomeamerica.org.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Good morning. Hello. Hey! Uncle Henry Show proceeding here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM, The Jag. In the last segment of the show before we enjoyed the traffic and weather smashed together, I mentioned to you that we have 4 candidates for mayor in Mobile now that we'll have a month to learn about. And one of the new candidates is Donavette Eli or Ely. Never heard of her. And so I did what has become customary in our society. I Googled her. I Googled the name Donavette Eli or Ely, Mobile, Alabama, and the first result that pops up is a lawsuit against the housing board. And then let's see, on down, fourth result from the top is a lawsuit against the Mobile County Public School System. So, there's, I'm sure there will be some interesting things to look into. Some interesting things to look into. So set yourself for some intriguing stories as we move forward about Donavette Eli and others. We also have several city council candidates. Now, one of the things that kind of surprises me is Fred Richardson. You may remember Fred Richardson, the originator of the giant electrical moon pie, which many people go down and worship during New Year's Eve in downtown Mobile. He says he's running for his final term on the Mobile City Council. He has 3 challengers. Now, that surprises me because I thought that he was a very popular guy. He's quite outspoken. He has a way with words, very colorful language. He's just, as somebody in the media, I love it when he has things to say because he's never boring. You may disagree with him vehemently, but he's never boring. And so I was shocked when I saw that he had 3 opponents in his district. So there must be something in District 1 that is not being addressed to have 3 opponents pop up. Either that or the people of District 1 perceive that job to be a fantastic job. Just like, as you've noticed, we have almost a busload of people running for Senate trying to take Jeff Sessions' seat. They see that job as being a fantastic job. Well, maybe the people of District 1 must see this as being a magnificent job because he's got 3 opponents. That's the only district that has that many opponents. The other ones that do have opposition have just 1 opponent. Gina Gregory, no opposition in her district, and LaVon Manzi, no opposition in his district. So those are the 2 city council persons who can relax, LaVon Manzi and Gina Gregory. Relax and sit back and watch the excitement of a municipal election in August. This means they don't have to go out door to door when it's 95 degrees. All right, there's more to come as we're just getting started on the Uncle Henry Show, back after our sponsors and traffic and weather.
Rush Limbaugh.
Hang on, let me check something here real quick.
No distraction can stop the dissemination of truth.
Damn it, screw it.
Today at 11, News Radio 710, WNTM.
If you have a tree problem, call Donnie Chastang at Chastang's Tree Service for a free estimate. Telephone number 251-342-4667. Donnie Chastang with Chastang's Tree Service.
Okay, Gulf Coast, you've asked for it and you've got it. Gulf Coast deals are back. This is your chance to score half-price deals from your favorite local businesses, restaurants, fun activities, and more. It's all the fun at half the price from the spots you already enjoy and the places you may have wanted to experience. Just go to our website or gulfcoast-deals.com to get in on these bargains.
Look for half off Mediterranean Sandwich Company. Also 50% off Bundy, Captain Fun Beach Bar and Grill, Burris Farm Market, Pure Bar, and more. Go to this station's site or gulfcoast-deals.com.
I believe the finest cars in the world are made right here in Alabama. And that's why Mercedes-Benz of Mobile is expanding our team of talented technicians. If you have the drive and skill it takes to be a Mercedes-Benz technician, then we want you to be part of our family. We're offering excellent pay and benefits along with fully air-conditioned parts and service departments. Mercedes-Benz of Mobile is hiring service technicians. Please call 251-472-BENZ. That's 251-472-BENZ.
We're here with Virginia McNeil O'Brien of McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group. Virginia, I've heard you talking about the second opinion service at MAL Financial. Can you tell us about it?
Sure, Uncle Henry. We offer our second opinion service with no obligation or cost to your listeners. We ask them to bring in their investment statements. We then take all of their statements and do a deep analysis of all of their investments in their portfolio.
You don't charge a fee for all this?
Uncle Henry, that is something we do not do and haven't done since 1922 when my great-grandfather started our firm. We know that if we do a good and honest job of our second opinion service and explain everything in simple and easy-to-understand terms, people will turn to us to help them with their retirement planning needs.
You can call McNeil Aarons Lambert at 251-666-5000 or visit them online at malfinancial.com. Ed and Virginia are investment advisor representatives with AE Wealth Management. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, which is an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Bras Across the Causeway is coming October the 1st to Battleship Park, and we're literally going to try to get bras to stretch across the 7 miles. Kathy Smith is here from Bayside Insurance. She is heading it up. What do you need bras, right?
We need bras. We're collecting 15,000 bras. We need sponsorships, $25 to $25,000 or something for everyone. We're going to have a 5K and a Tata Taste-Off.
That's restaurants from around the area and people sampling their food, right?
Yes.
To participate or drop off the bras, where do they go?
We have a Facebook page, Bras Across the Causeway.
Finding great candidates to hire can be, well, like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is different. It doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them. With its powerful technology, ZipRecruiter distributes your job everywhere it needs to be to find the right candidates. In fact, over 80% of jobs on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate in just one day. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, only ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
Used by businesses of all sizes, ZipRecruiter offers the most qualified job candidates with immediate results. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. That's right, free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free for your free trial. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
There are a couple of very minor areas of rain passing through the area, but there's a lot less of this than what we've had during morning drive for the last week or so. So better news on that front. We do have a traffic light malfunction in Fort Walton Beach. It's on Green Acres and Lewis Turner Boulevard. Gulf Power is out trying to get that rectified. No big Bayway problems so far. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. We've got a smaller risk of rain today. We'll call it a 30% chance of storms. So more sunshine will mean hot temperatures in the low 90s. We're in for a quiet night tonight. mostly clear, 74. And then on your Thursday, partly cloudy, slim chance of a storm, and a high in the middle 90s. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show continuing here. We have news headlines coming up from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin in about 10 minutes. I remain employed here at iHeartMedia. Very blessed to have a job indoors in the air conditioning. Now, there are numerous things that we can get to on the national level, international level. Governor Bentley gave another interview. There was a wild hog slaying in Alabama that's making news. So many things to get to, but first I want to bring Ariel in on this. There's a story from the world of entertainment that I find I have to remark on this story from the world of entertainment. Now, Ariel, the Game of Thrones premiere was Sunday night on HBO. A record-setting 16 million people tuned in to watch it. And then countless, who knows how many more watching reruns of it or recordings of it.
Right.
And there was a guest appearance on Game of Thrones by Ed Sheeran.
Right.
The very fair, red-headed Ed Sheeran. They just threw him in the story, and it stuck out like a sore thumb that they're in the forest, a medieval forest, and suddenly there's a pop star.
Right.
Ed Sheeran. The reason I'm bringing this up is after he appeared on Game of Thrones, he had to go ahead and just completely delete his Twitter account.
Really? Why?
Because he was savagely attacked. The world was so irritated that he popped up in Game of Thrones. Some of those 16 million people were so irritated that he popped up on the show.
Oh, dear.
They savagely attacked him and took down his Twitter account.
Well, you know what? That's happened to several different celebrities where they just do something that, especially with like a Star Wars and Game of Thrones, like those who have like a very, very cult type following.
Yes.
Most of the time, if you get it wrong, you're going to hear about it.
Have you ever wanted to delete your social media accounts?
Yeah, every day. At least once a day I'm thinking, do I really need to be on Facebook?
Well, you and I both are required.
Yeah.
It's a condition of employment.
That's the only reason why it's still there.
Okay, well, and by the way, I enjoyed, Ariel sent in an email to our company yesterday that quoted Blue Ivy Carter. So thank you for that.
And you know what? You're the only person who seemed to know who Blue Ivy Carter was. Everybody else is like, oh, yeah, old school. No, it's not old school. She's 5.
Right. Well, that caught my attention. I thought I didn't know 5-year-olds had quotes.
Yeah, in fact, she has an entire verse on one of her dad's songs on his brand new album, 444.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ariel.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There she goes. We're going to be checking in with her later for a new edition of Dear Ariel. Yes, Ariel sending out Blue Ivy Carter quotes in company emails, which I would read company email more often. If Ariel, please try to comment on all of the big giant group emails so that I've gotten into a bad habit of only checking my company email every 4 or 5 days, which can cause problems. All right, let's see. Before we go into our news break at the bottom of the hour, there was a story out on AL.com yesterday about a man in Alabama, I think Samson, Alabama, that killed a giant feral hog. And when we say giant, we're talking 820-pound hog. And the story from AL.com, if I remember correctly, the dog was barking in the front yard, and his daughter looked out the window, and his little daughter screamed, and he ran to the window, and there was an 820-pound feral hog out in the yard that was being confused by his dog, and he went out into his yard with a revolver that he kept for home protection and shot the feral hog. What was interesting about the story, and that's what I would probably think I would need to do also, since it's not like a 300-pound hog. 800 pounds, that's, I think you have to deal with that. But what was interesting about the story is the story had to explain, I guess because it's 2017, that it is legal to shoot a hog. I guess they anticipated the public reaction that some people would be pro-hog and would be worried about the hog. But the story had in it the laws about feral hogs, that you can shoot them anytime. There's such a problem in the state of Alabama. We have so many of them, and they cause whatever problems they cause in the ecosystem, that it is legal. You can kill as many of them as you want anytime you want. So they put that in the story, just maybe for that man's protection, so that people wouldn't go and picket outside of his house because they were pro-hog. It felt like the hog's life had been unfairly impacted. The story, they also asked him if he regretted it. And so the story ends with a quote of him saying, I don't have it in front of me, so I can't give it to you exactly, but it was something like, I would do it again if I had to. So I guess they asked him if maybe the reporter was very sympathetic to the hog and felt like this poor, pitiful 820-pound creature with giant tusks needed an advocate. But he said, no, I'd do it again. All right, look, traffic, weather, news, all kind of stuff coming right at you, and then more Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on Facebook.
The truth and nothing but.
And hey, Facebook, going to stay with you here for a moment. This is the time of day where I've got to check and make sure that everything is working properly. With our news from Darwin. Darwin sends us news. Yes, and we have the news. Very good. We have a new system as far as our technology works, and I'm supposed to make sure that we have it. Let me see. Bear with me here.
The debate about body cams.
Yes. Yeah, that's a story I'm interested in, by the way, the debate on body cams, because and I know they're debating body cams in Mobile and in the state, but all over the country we keep hearing these stories where police departments have spent thousands or millions of dollars on body cameras, and then they just happen to not be turned on. I don't understand that part. If we're going to have them, they ought to be on. Wouldn't you think? So the debate over body cams. So that's one of the stories we have coming up from Darwin. Let me see what else. Bear with me. I do have to do this technical work, making sure we have the news.
Maybe today will be a better day to renew your Alabama driver's license.
What an unpleasant thing. I did see the story that they were having computer problems with Alabama driver's licenses. You say maybe it's a better day. When I moved to Mobile, I had to switch my driver's license to reflect my new address. And I went in to the local tag office on Michael Boulevard in Mobile, and I took a number, and they called my number before I could sit down. The service was that fast. I don't know how they did that. That was Kim Hasty with her 10-minute tags pledge, and I know that there was a big court case involving her, and that some people, that there are a variety of opinions on that. I don't know a lot about that court case. All I know is that buying a tag is a lot better than it used to be. So whether you like her or not, we need to get her to be, instead of, I think she's revenue commissioner. Instead of being revenue commissioner, maybe she should just be a consultant for the other governmental entities. Because it used to take half a day to get a tag, and now it doesn't take half a day to get a tag in Mobile County. So she might be more useful going out and consulting all these governmental agencies. Whatever she did there, they need to figure out how to do it in other places. All right, I want to hear Darwin, if you don't mind. I'll be right back after Darwin.
James Barber responded by saying officers who don't use them properly can be fired, and claimed citizen complaints and use of force incidents have actually gone down since the cameras were implemented. Meanwhile, the department still routinely refuses requests from the public and the media to release video captured by those cameras. A woman accused of killing a Pensacola man and burying his body in a backyard has been indicted for first-degree murder. Desiree Tedder was arrested in Massachusetts for the death of Drew Martin Mims. She's awaiting extradition from the state. Mims's body was found buried in the backyard of Tedder's grandmother's home back in June. He's reported missing in March. Mobilian Donovet Ely has become the fourth candidate to be Mobile's next mayor. Tuesday was the final day to qualify for that race. Ely says her decision to run has a lot to do with violence among young people in the port city. She also says one of her goals is to introduce new technology and clean energy jobs. The field is now set, with her joining current Mayor Sandy Stimpson, former Mayor Sam Jones, and political newcomer Anthony Leonard. Mobile's municipal election is set for August 22nd. Local 15 News will host the Mobile Mayor Debate live August 7th from 6 to 7 p.m. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m.
All right. Thank you, Darwin. Donovet Ely is how he said it. E-L-Y. Google it. Ariel and I have already Googled the lady, and I would prefer that you do the Googling yourself before we get into any further discussions on that. Do the Googling. And it's a lot of reading. There's a lot there. There's a lot there. I guess in modern America, it's quite an accomplishment if somebody Googles you and not much pops up. And it's something a lot of people have talked about, how young people today, any mistake, any dumb thing you do when you're young, it will likely be online for the rest of your life. So you've got to be very careful. The Mobile newspaper was printed and thrown at our building today. Here's a picture of the guy with the giant hog that he killed in his front yard. Now look at the size of that. That is, yeah. You would want to defend your property from that. That's like livestock, right? And as a weird coincidence, the man that had the 820-pound hog come into his yard, he is a taxidermist. If you're a wild animal, the last yard that you want to wander into is the taxidermist's yard. That's not, you've picked the wrong yard if you're a wild animal. All right, let's see. Let me check and see who's here on. Nita Jeffers. Good morning, Nita. Bama Big Man is watching. Sharon Brenton Odom, good morning to you watching on Facebook. What a pleasure it is to know that there are people out there. Mark Brannon, good morning to Mark Brannon. It's wonderful to know that you're out there watching the Uncle Henry Show. As I'm really looking forward to continued employment as the days and weeks go by. We'll be back on the radio here in about 30 seconds. So just give me a moment to drink some coffee.
The masses by downloading Zip, the question and answer app, in the App Store.
If you're ready for a magnificent man cave, TSI Alarms and Audio will handle your home theater design, equipment, and installation. Call them at 251-662-0500 or visit them online at thetsigroup.com.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. 99.5 FM, The Jag. I listened to Darwin's News from Local 15. He mentioned the new mayoral candidate. We now have 4, and there's going to be a debate, a Local 15 debate. Very glad that they're going to be doing a debate. Now, one of the candidates, Donovet Ely, or Ely, E-L-Y, the last name, I would encourage you to Google her. I would encourage you to Google her. That's all I'm saying. Just do. You can learn a lot in modern America by Googling someone. So I would go ahead and Google and see what you can learn about Donovet Ely running for mayor. But Darwin said that she was concerned about youth violence. I think we all are. It's an interesting thing to think, what can you do in government about that? That I'm sure is worth a discussion. And I look forward to hearing what the lady thinks about it. It's a topic that has come up here locally for many, many years. So it's always worth having that discussion about what to do about violence. Again, we got the list of candidates that are going to be in the municipal election. The voting in Mobile is August 22nd, and the list of candidates who qualified was released yesterday by the city of Mobile. And really, a lot of people running for Fred Richardson's seat. There are three that are running for Fred Richardson's seat beside Fred Richardson. So that'll be the most hotly contested. I would even be curious enough to go if there was a debate among Fred Richardson and his 3 opponents, just to find out what's going on. There must be something going on in that district to have 3 people want that job. Would it be a shock if the man who brought us the Giant Electric moon pie was knocked out of office? It would shock me. It would shock me, but then again, I don't live in that district, so I don't know what's going on. Hey, a quick look at traffic and weather together, and then we continue on the Uncle Henry Show.
Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Well, we have some better news from a small early morning problem spot. The traffic lights at Green Acres and Lewis Turner Boulevard in Fort Walton Beach had been out of service for about half an hour this morning due to a malfunction. Gulf Power on scene. They now have the lights restored, so better news there. No big accidents or breakdowns on I-10 for those of you coming across the Bayway to and through the Wallace Tunnel. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. We're heading into a trend of fewer thunderstorms. However, the heat will be higher. 91 today with a 30% chance of storms. It's a quiet Wednesday night and then partly cloudy on Thursday. A 20% chance of rain and a high of 94. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News and this iHeart radio station.
Never miss a riff. TK 101, the rock station.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I saw on the national level, I saw that there was some controversy over President Trump having a second meeting with Putin during the G20 summit. The news was brought to light by Ian Bremmer, who's the president of the global consulting firm Eurasia Group.
Did they talk about sanctions? Did they talk about the hacks? Did he push them? Did they not? Ukraine, all of that? Well, I mean, none of that really matters if they then had an hour one-on-one at the dinner with only the Russian translator. We have no idea what was in that conversation.
Now, so this, what does this matter? They met for over 2 hours face-to-face with just a couple of translators, and now we learned that they met again later for another hour. So why are people hysterical over this meeting? I don't quite understand why this is people are acting shocked that there was a second meeting. It wouldn't, I would expect the President of the United States to talk to any world leader anytime he wanted to, and not necessarily let us know what the conversation was about. I would expect Putin to talk to just about any world leader. That's what I thought world leaders did a lot of the time, was talk to each other. So people are treating this like it is some gigantic shock that they had a second meeting. I'm actually encouraged. We've had the relationship has been somewhat contentious with Russia, so I don't see anything bad coming of lengthier conversations. They weren't supposed to talk for 2 hours to begin with the first time they sat down, so additional time. They obviously didn't get to everything they wanted to get to. If they wanted to keep it a secret, they probably would have done a better job of making sure that nobody knew that they were meeting. So I'm not, this is something that I don't consider any big deal at all. Did you see the story of a few days ago where a conversation that President Trump had with the leader of Great Britain got leaked? Like some transcript of it got leaked in the British press. So who knows? We may get a transcript of this conversation leaked at some point. There have been so many leaks of these different conversations. But that's one of the big stories of the day, is a second meeting with Vladimir Putin. A lot of people acting like there's something sinister behind it. I have a feeling that if we actually sat down and listened to it, we might be bored out of our minds what they may have talked about. Most conversations between world leaders. Now, those two, they might be more interesting than most. There's more show to come. The Uncle Henry Show continues. Thank you for listening to The Uncle Henry Show.
Today at 2, Sean Hannity.
How much is a condom?
T. Can we talk about health care?
Options.
There we go.
This size.
Oh, boy.
This flavor.
News Radio 710, WNTM.
Bras Across the Causeway is coming October the 1st to Battleship Park, and we're literally going to try to get bras to stretch across the 7 miles. Kathy Smith is here from Bayside Insurance. She is heading it up. What do you need bras, right?
We need bras. We're collecting 15,000 bras. We need sponsorships, $25 to $25,000 or something for everyone. We're going to have a 5K and a Tata Taste-Off.
That's restaurants from around the area and people sampling their food, right?
Yes.
To participate or drop off the bras, where do they go?
We have a Facebook page, Bras Across the Causeway.
I believe the finest cars in the world are made right here in Alabama. And that's why Mercedes-Benz Mobile is expanding our team of talented technicians. If you have the drive and skill it takes to be a Mercedes-Benz technician, then we want you to be part of our family. We're offering excellent pay and benefits along with fully air-conditioned parts and service departments. Mercedes-Benz Mobile is hiring service technicians. Please call 251-472-BENZ. That's 251-472-BENZ.
It's a good idea to get your heating and air conditioning system checked a couple of times a year. And at Bachelor Service Heating and Air, they have a team of precision tune-up specialists. It's all they do to help keep your system in tip-top shape. Learn more at bachelorservice.com, certification number 17070.
From 2017 to 2019, Alabama will celebrate the 200th anniversary of its territory and statehood. The Bicentennial is a chance to explore the people, places, and events that shaped our history and to invest in a better tomorrow. Join the celebration by purchasing an Alabama Bicentennial car tag. For more information, call your tag office or visit our website at www.alabama200.org. Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, this is Uncle Henry. I want to tell you about a dentist I found in Mobile named H. Radcliffe Brown, Jr. When I moved back to town, I asked people if they could recommend a dentist, and they recommended Radcliffe Brown. I had a cracked tooth. I needed a crown on it. I went to see Dr. Brown at his office, 1501 University Boulevard, and he had just remodeled with state-of-the-art technology. So he was able to make the crown for me while I waited. It was a same-day crown, no temporary crown, and it fit perfectly. Dr. Brown has a family-friendly practice. He offers a wide range of services, including cleanings, whitening, cosmetic bonding, the same-day crowns I just told you about, veneers, bridges, dentures, partials. He restores implants. If you're a new patient, you can get a new patient appointment within just a few days. Remember the name. It's H. Radcliffe Brown, Jr. Call him at 251-342-5636. While his website is under construction, you can look for him on Facebook. Look for H. Radcliffe Brown, Jr. Dentist on Facebook.
And now, the iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
What is going on, lovers of sports? It's me, Bald Freak Ronnie, here as always to take you on a trip back in time to this week in sports history. Starting way back in 1858, when the first fee is charged to see a baseball game, it costs 50 cents to see New York beat Brooklyn 22-18. Fast forward to 1956, when Yankees pitcher Whitey Ford ties the AL record of 6 straight strikeouts. In 1989, it takes 1 minute and 33 seconds for Mike Tyson to knock Carl Williams out and take the heavyweight boxing title. In 1991, the Orioles' Cal Ripken plays in his 1,500th consecutive game. And this week in 2015 at the 144th British Golf Open, American Zach Johnson wins in a 4-hole playoff at St. Andrews.
That's your iHeartRadio Weekend Sports Time Capsule.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Volvo Traffic Center.
We have picked up what appears to be a significant new accident now that's popped up on Highway 90 and Bellingrath Road. You do have vehicle entrapment there, so you've got fire unit, EMS en route to try to deal with that. For the most part, it's a quiet morning, though. If you're traveling I-10 across the Bayway, no big problems waiting for you there. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. We're going to see fewer thunderstorms today than we've seen over the past few days. We'll call it a 30% chance of mainly afternoon storms, and that will allow us to heat up. Your high today will be up around 91. Should be a quiet night tomorrow, then it's hot and humid on Thursday. A slight chance of a storm and 94. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We have news headlines from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin coming up in about 10 minutes. Yesterday we had the comments from former Governor Dr. Bentley, where he was talking about how everywhere he went, people were shouting out, "There's the governor, there's the governor." What did he say yesterday? Let me refresh my memory real quick here. Bear with me for a moment.
I'm the most recognized person in the state of Alabama.
All right, he was the most recognized person in the state of Alabama, and people were yelling, "There's the governor, there's the governor." Well, he's continuing to give interviews. Now, that interview was with WBRC. So it was so interesting. Other TV stations wanted to go and interview him. So WVTM out of Birmingham went to interview him, and he had more fun things to say. The microphone was away from him, so this is a little bit harder to hear, but he told WVTM that he's the best governor Alabama's ever had.
But I was the best governor Alabama's ever had, by far. And we got more accomplished in 7 years than the last 5 governors have ever gotten accomplished.
The best governor Alabama's ever had by far.
But I was the best governor Alabama's ever had, by far.
All right, well, his self-esteem has not been damaged. When you go through what he has put himself through and the state through, you would think that maybe he would reflect on all of this, and maybe his self-esteem would take a beating, that there would be a moment where he would reevaluate his actions and think, wow, look at what I've done to myself. I've narrowly avoided prosecution, and my family has been wrecked and all this. But no, he has a very healthy self-esteem. Best governor by far. Now, when I saw that, I did think, no offense to the state of Alabama, which I've lived in, I was born in and have lived in my entire life. No offense to the state of Alabama. But I did a mental inventory of governors, and the bar is not a real high bar. The bar that has been set, again, no offense intended to Alabama, but the bar is not that high a bar for gubernatorial job performance. But I would think that being driven from office by a scandal would kind of drop you down the rankings just a little bit. I think we'd need to look at the governors who, for better or for worse, were not driven from office by a scandal and threats of prosecution. Those would be the governors that we would look at first on the list of best by far Alabama governor. But that, if you were worrying about him, no, there's nothing to worry about. There is nothing to worry about. He is enjoying he's back in practice. People are still running in and wanting to interview him. So he's doing just fine. He's doing just fine, and he's the best governor by far. Let's talk to Jerry. Hello, Jerry. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Uncle Henry.
Yes, sir.
What is it about our governor that you don't like? I think he was a great governor, and I would vote for him again because he made good decisions, as far as I'm concerned.
Like
You know?
what? Like what decisions were really good?
Well, he changed women.
He what?
You know, the Miss Mason girl. He picked, good one. So that's a good choice he made.
He already had a wife when he picked her, so there's a little problem with the timeline.
Well, I think he's still a good man. I tell you, I would vote for him tomorrow if he was running again.
Well, I'm sure
Okay.
he would be delighted to hear that.
Okay, well, you have a good day, Henry.
All right, thank you very much for your phone call. I had a little bit of a problem with him, and I apologize to you, the listener, that this has been brought up. At this point now, I feel like I've walked into some type of quicksand. But to answer Jerry, one of the problems was that he had a billboard when he was running for re-election about no new taxes. And then as soon as he got reelected, he came to us and said, guess what? We need as many taxes as we can possibly get. That kind of disingenuous campaign kind of irritated me. But let's move off of that because it's beginning to already cause me discomfort on a variety of levels. We have news next from Fox and Local 15 after the traffic and weather. Numerous things to get into as we move forward on the program, including haven't yet talked about the health care. I don't know what to call it. Yesterday was just a massive a Republican Party situation where half of the Republican Party was pointing at the other half of the Republican Party yesterday over the collapse of doing anything over the health care issue. Just lots of moaning and groaning and wailing and blaming each other. And the future of that whole effort unclear. But lots of people expressing negative emotions yesterday at each other over the lack of health care reform. I listened to some of it on Mr. Limbaugh's show yesterday, and then Sean Hannity was quite agitated yesterday as well. So we'll get into some of that as the Uncle Henry Show continues. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the Uncle Henry Show.